Audio 1.05.
Okay, so today's big question is whether creativity can be learnt or not. And with me, I have a secondary school teacher, Kelly Martin, a businesswoman, Marie McCall, and a novelist, Jake Hawkins. To get the ball rolling, let's start with Jake. You're a successful writer, Jake, so everyone knows that you're a creative guy. In your opinion, is creativity something we can all learn, or is it a talent that you're born with?
It's an interesting question, and the short answer is, I don't really know. I get a lot of people asking me, where do I get my ideas? Have I always had stories in my head? And it's really a bit of a mystery to me.
So, would you say you get flashes of inspiration? I love your books, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I suppose so. They usually happen when I'm doing something else entirely. I mean, not sitting at a computer trying hard to think of something, but out on a walk or playing with the kids. Something will spark my imagination, sometimes completely out of the blue.
You see, I think that's important. As you know, I teach young people, and I try to develop their creativity by encouraging them to do things just like that. Going for a walk, letting the mind wander. It's amazing what insights and creative thoughts you can get.
But surely we can't all be creative geniuses. There has to be an element of raw talent, something you're born with.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. Maybe there has to be a spark of talent that's innate, but that needs to be nurtured, and it doesn't come just like that. I mean, unless you're a Mozart or a Mary Shelley, you have to work at being creative. It takes patience and time, a lot of practicing, thinking, rejecting ideas, rethinking, and...
If I can come in here, I think it all depends on the type of creativity you're talking about. What I'm concerned with is innovation in a business setting, helping people to think outside the box and come up with novel ideas. And for me, that means having experience and being versatile, open to new things and so on.
Agreed. And going back to what I was saying earlier, encouraging my students to become more creative involves just what you're talking about. That need to be open to the new and unfamiliar and not pigeonholing yourself by thinking, I'm not a creative person, it's not in my nature. I believe creativity can be learnt.
So you're saying that if I wanted, I could sit down and write a novel, like Jake here?
Not at all. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but no, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm talking about learning to be a better writer and become a more creative thinker. Not becoming a creative genius. I'd say...
Absolutely, you've hit the nail on the head. I don't think anyone is saying that we can all be another Jake. Sorry, Kelly, you were saying...
No worries. I'd like to hear Jake's thoughts on this. Jake?
Actually, having listened to the comments, I'd say that there are definitely a lot of me's out there. There are writers, artists, musicians, and great creative thinkers who just haven't been heard yet or discovered. I was in the right place at the right time. And you're also bang on about creativity. My talent, what there is geared towards writing, coming up with storylines, fleshing them out, connecting with readers. But put me in a business meeting and I'd freeze. My mind doesn't think that way.
Come on, Jake, don't downplay your talent here. You're wired to think outside the box. To go back to my earlier point, there are ways to teach people to be more creative, but all of that can't make up for a lack of innate talent.
Let me pick up on that, Marie. What we do, or at least I do, is give advice. For instance, we have in-class discussions about getting out of the linear approach to problem solving, focusing on the importance of patience, relaxing, daydreaming. And there's something I read the other day about the importance of the colour green.
Did you just say green? What's that got to do with being creative?
If I could just finish.
Oh, please, go on. I'm fascinated.
Okay, what I started to say was apparently looking at the colour green immediately before doing a creative task can increase creativity, as opposed to blue or yellow, which has a more mellowing effect.
Well, that's a new one on me.
Yes, well, obviously, as we mentioned before, it's important to focus on being open to new experiences, learning new things, looking at other viewpoints, all of which helps to develop creativity.
Thanks for that, Kelly. Right, guys, the clock's ticking on this one. So if I can just bring Jake back in on the topic of inspiration. Earlier, you raised an important point about